Welcome back, everybody. Thank you so much for sticking with me through that break. If you are just tuning in, we just broke down the incredible game that Caitlin Clark had last night, absolutely dicing up LSU. 41 points, 12 assists, 7 rebounds. Her passing was incredible. That was another thing outside of her shooting that I was super impressed by. A kind of underrated part of her game. A near triple double to send Iowa to the Final Four, her second 41-point game in the Elite Eight in a row. Very, very impressive. But anyway, in this segment 2, we are going to transition into some baseball. We had our first no-hitter of the season last night. The Astros threw a no-hitter, winning 10-0 versus the Blue Jays. Romel Blanco threw his first no-hitter of his career. We'll break down all the stats that came with that, as well as more everything that happened in the MLB. It's been a crazy first week, full of firsts, full of records, lots of stuff to check out. But before we do, remember that if you would like to be an even bigger part of the show than you already are, all you need to do is go to gsmcpodcast.net. Leave a tip or donation with a message. It'll pop up on the bottom of the screen there. We'll have a little discussion about what you had to say. You'll decide how the show goes. But yeah, once again, that link to leave a tip or donation is gsmcpodcast.net. We appreciate anything that you guys do give, and we appreciate you guys for watching. If you have anything to say as well, just leave a comment. I've got my eyes on all of those. But like I was saying, we're going to get right into the major news of the MLB. They were the first no-hitter of the season today. Last night. Romel Blanco of the Houston Astros threw the first no-hitter. He walked two batters. Both were George Springer. Walked him in the ninth and I believe in the third. It's the 17th time in Astros history that someone from the Astros has thrown a no-hitter. That's including the playoffs. That is actually the most out of any franchise ever. 17 for one franchise. It seems like not a lot, especially for a sport like baseball that's been around since the 1800s. I'd expect a team like the Giants franchise, that have been around forever, or the Red Sox, or the Braves, these teams that have been around for almost 200 years at this point, or almost 150 years at this point, to have more than 17, but no-hitters are hard. No-hitters are really, really hard to get. It's the 17th. That is the league leading. The Dodgers are second with 13. Congratulations to Romel Blanco. Blanco has a really interesting story. He wasn't supposed to break camp. He only made the roster as that fifth starter because Justin Verlander and Urquidy were hurt, along with Lance McCullers Jr. and a whole bunch of other starters that could have taken that last spot. He's 30 years old. He came up as a 28-year-old, coming from an international market. It was a tough timeline for him to get up. He gets a chance. This was just his eighth start. In his career, and he goes out and he throws a no-hitter. That is incredible. Good for him. I'm so happy that he can get this done. The Blue Jays, this is for the Blue Jays side of things. This is the eighth time that the Blue Jays have been no-hit in their history. The Astros have been on a streak of no-hitters recently. They've done it 4 times. Out of the last 7 no-hitters that have been thrown in the entire MLB, the Astros have done it 4 times. This is also the earliest that a no-hitter has ever happened date-wise. Now, it has happened earlier in the season. This was the 5th game of the season. There have been no-hitters faster than 5 games into the season, but this is the first time that a no-hitter took place April 1st or earlier. So the earliest on the calendar that a no-hitter has ever happened. Congratulations. It's not an easy feat to accomplish. Not only did he do a no-hitter, but unlike a lot of the no-hitters that are happening nowadays, he pitched the full game. He was super efficient. He pitched, I believe, 104 pitches. He hit 100 on his final walk. He just went one batter over 100. The fact that he was able to go the full 9 innings The fact that he was able to keep his pitch count low enough to stay in the game, especially in modern day baseball when you start to get pulled after 80 pitches, you know? You have starters that they don't go more than 4 innings anymore. Their job is to go through the lineup twice, and no matter how good they're doing, they're out. You see teams like the Dodgers do this all the time. I know there was a situation early last season with Clayton Kershaw where he was pitching a perfect game in Minnesota and they pulled him. And I'm very happy that the Astros didn't do that. Because a no-hitter is one of those special things. A perfect game is one of those special things that kind of keeps the sanctity of baseball as it is. You know, I'm all for change in sports, evolve it, make it better for a wider audience. But there's something so magical about one person single-handedly winning you the game. You know, and that's not necessarily true with a no-hitter, but when you pitch that no-hitter, that's kind of how it is. You have obviously great defense behind you. Abreu made, I think, 2 or 3 plays in just the ninth inning alone to keep the no-hitter alive. He made this incredible diving stop to get the second out of the game, the second out of the ninth inning. There's always going to be those plays in a no-hitter. Always. You know, and baseball is such a fickle sport. The ball takes a hop off a rock and your night is done, you know? It's such a rare thing to happen. And when it does happen, and when you have a guy that this really early into his career is able to get this milestone, this feat that most pitchers don't do. You know, some of the greatest pitchers of all time don't have this. Don't have a no-hitter under their belt. It's so tough, especially a complete game no-hitter. That is so tough. Steven Strasburg, when he was healthy, was one of the best pitchers in the league. You know, he won a World Series MVP. He doesn't have a no-hitter. Now, his career was cut short by injury, so maybe he's not a Hall of Famer, but that's the first name that came to my mind as a Nats fan. You know, there's plenty of legends that you could point to that don't have a no-hitter on their resume, and it's kind of sort of being phased out of baseball a little bit. Something that I kind of hate. My favorite baseball games, and I love watching baseball games that are 10-9, 15-14. Sure, pour the runs in, get more offense. It's exciting, especially when it's on TV. But if you're in the stadium and you have a pitcher's duel going, or, you know, you're at a hockey arena and you have a goalie battle going, oh my God. Those are the most intense experiences you can have as a sports fan. I was working a baseball game. It's not MLB. I was the official scorekeeper for the Harrisonburg Turks in the Valley Baseball League last summer. And I was lucky enough to witness a combined no-hitter. And when it was getting down to that point, I mean, I'd never heard of the Harrisonburg Turks before. But in that moment, I became a fan. I had been working for them all summer. I'm working for them again this summer as the scorekeeper for their home games. So I didn't really have an attachment to them, but watching the intensity of that moment, you know, it wasn't a particularly packed stadium, but seeing that culmination of all the hard work, how much effort it takes, and how, like I said, how easily it can be taken away. That no-hitter, watching that live, was one of my favorite experiences as a sports fan. And it was a combined no-hitter, so wasn't quite the same as watching one pitcher go the whole way, but that is a special experience. You know, as much as it would suck to watch my team get no hit, it's a special experience. You know, you don't get to see that every day. This is a super rare occurrence. Like I said, 17. That was the 17th one by the Astros. That's the most by any team. Baseball is a sport that's been around since like 1870s or something like that. It's been like 150 years. It's such a rare occurrence, and it's so cool to see this happen. Uh, Congratulations to Romel Blanco. He deserves all the praise in the world. No hitters are hard. You're playing against some of then the Blue Jays aren't a bad team. You know, it's not like he did it against the Astros. It's not like he did it against the Rockies. It's not like he did it against the Angels. It's not like he did it against the Nationals. He did it against a team that is in playoff contention, a team that has the cover athlete of MLB The Show in Vladimir Guerrero Jr. They have Bo Bichette. They have Alejandro Kirk. This is not a this is not a bad team. It's super duper impressive. I'm always love these pitching battles. It's my favorite because the intensity is there, and it's so hard to get that genuine intensity. That, oh my god, I'm locked into this game. I can't take my eyes off of it. And I know it's not the same for everyone, but watching these pitchers work, you know, when it's really like one man against the world, and see them do it successfully, it's one of those things that really brings me back to when I was a kid watching sports for the first time, falling in love with it all over again. It is a beautiful thing. I love no hitters. I love pitcher duels. It's awesome. Anyway, I went off on a whole nother tangent there. But great night for baseball. There has been a lot of crazy stuff going on in the MLB. Juan Soto with with the Yankees. Juan Soto has been huge for the Yankees. In the first 4 games, they swept the Astros. The Astros won their this no hitter was their first win of the season. That's the first time that's ever happened. They also have a new manager. First win of his career is a no hitter. Also, the first time that has happened. There's so many firsts with this situation, but Juan Soto has been awesome. In New York, the Yankees, I don't remember if they won last night. I fell asleep before that game ended, but the what Juan Soto did in that series against the Astros, he made the winning play in all 4 of those games. You know, he threw out a runner in the first game. He drew a clutch walk in the last game. He is so good. I love Juan Soto, and it seems like New York is accepting him already, which is great because he is so good. He's so good at baseball. And putting him ahead of a guy like Aaron Judge, that Yankees team, even without Garrett Cole, if that offense continues to hit as well as they have, and the defense continues to play like they have, they can make some noise. They just need to survive long enough to get Garrett Cole back, because once they get Garrett Cole back, they're going to be a complete team. Garrett Cole is out for a while, but we'll keep an eye on all of that. Anyway, in our next segment, we are going to transition out of the MLB. We are going to move into some NFL talk. There's some second-year NFL quarterbacks. We've been talking about rookies a lot, but there's some second-year NFL quarterbacks that are looking to make a jump, and we're going to break down who's going to have the bigger jump. We're going to leave C.J. Stroud out of it because he's already made that jump. We're talking about Will Levis, Bryce Young, those guys like that could make a jump in their second year, now being the bona fide starter in Will Levis's case, and hopefully having stability with Bryce Young. We'll break all of that down and more coming up in our third segment. We'll be right back on Sports by GSMC Podcast Network.